Hi, for those that don't know me, my name is Miranda Rondeau, and I'm known mostly as a singer, musician, frame drum artist, and teacher. But today I would like to share something different, and that is the story of how I healed my nightmares with a song. So, for many, many years, since I was 5 years old, all the way through my 30s, up to 32, I had the nightmares of hundreds and thousands of zombies and vampires chasing after me, trying to kill me. And if you can imagine a 5-year-old running away endlessly without any relief, was quite terrifying, scary, and traumatic. And a lot of the scenarios would be I would be in the house not knowing if all the doors are locked, and you can see them all through the windows, and I would be holding the door trying to shut it, but their hands are coming through and they're still trying to grab me, and I'm screaming. There was also hilarious scenarios where I was running and they were all around, and all I could do was climb this palm tree. And so I climbed the palm tree, so I'm climbed up on the top here. And then what would happen is the tree would start bending and going like this. And then as I would land on the ground, I would hop, jump up, and then the tree would go the other way and bend the other way. And then I would again hop on the ground. And then, so this back and forth, I was on top of the tree where it would go like this. And their hands are trying to grab me. Oh my God, I'm wondering, how long am I going to be able to take this? And there's things that you don't do. So one, you don't look at them in the eyes, otherwise you will turn into one of them. Another is you don't let them scratch you and draw blood, because then you'll turn into one of them. And of course, you don't let them bite you, otherwise you'll turn into one of them. And so one day, I don't know why, I did something different in the dream. I was riding with a friend on a moped, and we came up with this barricade. And there were all the vampires and the zombies were on the other side. My friend climbs it up, and she, they're kind of slow, so she would just push them and hit them on the head, and they would just like kind of roll down. But they kept coming up in droves. And one 12-year-old vampire came and got a hold of me, and she grabbed both of my arms. My arms were like this, and she grabbed both of them like that. And for some reason, I did the opposite thing that I was supposed to do. I looked at her in the eyes, and I began to sing to her. And the song that I sang was, I see light behind your eyes, shining light down to my core. I see light behind your eyes, reminding me of my own shine. And as I sang this song to her, she was turning back into a little girl. Like her face would come back flushed, because it was pale before, and she would come back with some life in her face. And I was like, wow, that is so awesome. But then she was still holding on to me on both arms, and she started going like this, scratching, and I got scared. I'm like, oh no. And so when I got scared, she turned back into the vampire. And I go, oh gosh, I need to keep singing to her. So I go to sing to her again, the song, and my lips are sealed, and all I could do was hum to her. So I go, and of course I'm looking her in the eyes as I do this. And she goes and turns back into the little girl. And I'm like, wow, this is powerful. But then she started scratching me again, and I got scared, and she turned back into the vampire. And I go, okay, great. Hurry up and hum back at her. So I go to hum again, and this time I have no voice at all. And I'm like, great. Well, I'll just have to psychically sing to her. And so I looked at her into the eyes and silently sang the song to her. As I sang to her, she turned back into the little girl. I woke up, and I've never had another nightmare again. And I am still learning from this dream, this nightmare. One, love being seen, loving the unlovable, loving unconditionally. She came back to be a little girl because I saw that she was just like me. We're all sons and daughters of the divine. And I saw her. And I affirmed it with her. One of the hardest things as humans is to love what's unlovable, or love the thing that you're terrified of, that you think is trying to hurt you. And so I just wanted to share that story. Thank you for the time for listening. And yes.